After days of protests in major Chinese cities, the government has announced some small concessions. Authorities will no longer cordon off Beijing apartment blocks where COVID is detected. In some other cities, no more mass COVID testing, and some businesses will be allowed to reopen. But the basic zero COVID policy remains, as do the protests. And they are starting to include calls for more political freedoms. The government claims forces with ulterior motives are behind some of the demonstrating. In Washington, the National Security Council spokesperson said the White House is not taking sides on China's COVID restrictions or the protests, but said the U.S. supports the rights of peaceful protesters.
This is, I think, a moment to reassert what we believe in when it comes to free assembly and peaceful protest. And we've done that, and we'll continue to do that, whether it's people protesting in Iran or China or anywhere else around the world.
It's a level of dissent not seen since the government put down the Tiananmen Square demonstrations in the late 1980s.
I think historically the Chinese government does not like to appear to cave to the demands of protesters, because that then incentivizes further protests. And so they'd much rather do things on their own course, and to 1 week say that we're going to continue zero COVID, and then a week later say, oh, actually we are going to change course, I think is just would signal a loss of face for the CCP and for Xi Jinping.
Authorities have denied reports of overseas journalists being detained.
China has always welcomed foreign journalists to conduct reporting activities in China in accordance with relevant laws and regulations, and has done a lot to facilitate their reporting and provide convenience for them. At the same time, while conducting reporting activities in China, foreign journalists need to consciously follow Chinese laws and regulations.
China uses a domestic vaccine to fight COVID that's only considered by infectious disease specialists to be about half as effective as the vaccines used in the West. And the White House says Beijing has not reached out to Washington about importing the more effective vaccines. Andy Roesgen, TRT World, Washington.